I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
All right, welcome back everyone to episode 93 of the Best Thing We've Seen podcast. My name is Flo.
And I'm Gabe. How are you? Already losing my voice?
You gotta save that for like midway through.
No. I didn't warm up.
Don't give them what they want right at the beginning.
I just sat at home in silence for the last couple of hours, so I'm a little rusty. It sounds so depressing.
Yeah, I mean, in front of a screen, like watching university stuff, right? If you want to give context.
Among other things. Sure.
Sure. If you don't want to give context, that's fine too.
No, I did stuff for uni, but I also, turned up YouTube and did other stuff because I cannot keep, my attention on something for longer than 2 minutes.
Right. That's why we're doing 60-minute episodes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's why I'm always going to zone out and then pretend I know what you're talking about.
Did you say something?
Sorry, what? So how are you? How's your week been?
My week? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like every other week, another week spent in lockdown, which, we're opening back up in a couple of days. Oh, by the time this episode drops, we're opening back up. Cinemas are opening back up too, which is nice. Yeah, I don't know. My week, a regular lockdown week. How about you?
Yeah, same. I don't know why I asked these questions because I never have an answer myself. It's fine. Didn't do much.
Did you watch a lot?
I watched, a fair bit. I thought you were going
to say 6 things there.
No, Jesus Christ. One of the things I watched was a bit complicated, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you? Did you see a lot of things? I mean, did anything big release? Because I just found 1 or 2 interesting things.
Yes. Well, I haven't seen a lot this week. We are going, I told you this before we started recording this, we're going to talk about something that we saw quite a while ago that we wanted to talk about the week that it's actually going to be out here. That was during lockdown now, so you couldn't see it, but we're going to talk about it now anyway. And other than that, I just saw one. I started watching one show that I'm not quite sure if I'm going to talk about that today because I'm like only like 2 or 3 episodes in.
Is it the docu-series on Netflix?
It's not a docu-series on Netflix, no.
Okay.
Oh, I actually watched that too. I forgot about that.
Let's go.
But I just watched 1 episode of that. I watched the Tony Zhu one. Have you watched that?
I have watched 5 out of 6 episodes. The 6th one I started, but then they started talking about a movie, and then they went quite deep into the story of it, so I turned it off because that's a movie I might want to watch in the future.
Interesting. Well, let's talk about that in a bit because it's a good point that you brought this up. But in terms of big releases, I know that today, when we record this, there's the new Sandra Bullock film, The Unforgivable, which I was looking forward to. I was like, maybe I'll watch it for this week, but then the reviews came out and I'm like, I'm not going to watch it.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe you've seen it, but do you want to tell everyone how the show works and then, let's dive into these things.
Yes. Welcome back to another regular episode after last week's special episode on Tarantino and Nolan. Here we talk about the best thing that we've seen all week. Anything from a movie to a TV show to maybe even a YouTube video. Anything fairly recent that came out in the last 6 months or so. And we're going to start off with a couple of honorable mentions, what we saw this week, what stood out to us, and then move on to the best thing that we've seen. So I don't know who starts this week's episode off, but I guess we can start talking about Voir? How do you pronounce it? Since we just teased it, I suppose.
I think it's Voir.
Voir?
French word for, looking, watching.
Is it?
I assume that's what it was.
Sure. Sure.
I think
so. I don't speak French.
I think that's what it means. I think that's what it means. It would make sense, right?
Sure.
I'm looking up who's starting this week. It's actually you. But
Okay.
you're absolutely right. Let's talk about Voir, which I've only seen. So I started watching it. I started watching the first episode,
Mhm.
and I was not really that interested in it.
The one about Jaws, right?
The one about Jaws, yes.
Mhm.
I know how great Jaws is. I didn't need a 20-minute episode on that, but the main reason why I wanted to watch the show was Tony Zhu, Every Frame of
Mhm.
Painting, the guy. And I looked on the episode list on Netflix when his episode's going to be. It's episode 2. So I watched that and thoroughly enjoyed it. Actually, so much so that I started watching not Sympathy for... There's so many different names for it. Not Sympathy for Lady Vengeance or just Lady
Mhm.
Vengeance, but the other one, Sympathy for
Mr.
Mr.
Vengeance.
Vengeance,
Mm-hmm.
because I found those on Prime, both of them.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm only like 20 minutes in. That didn't really hook me. But anyway, the episode was great. I love
Yes.
hearing his voice again. He's
It's
such
like
a great
a classic episode, just a bit more in depth.
guy. Absolutely, yeah.
I think. I don't know how long his older episodes were, but I think like 10 minutes, right? And this was over 20.
Something like that, yeah.
I think at least. Yeah, I gotta say, I enjoyed it as well. Especially for that episode, I watched Lady Vengeance first because I knew he was going to go in depth about it, and I thought, this is done by a director that I like. I've heard about this movie, and also, Mr. Vengeance. So I thought, why not check it out now? Now's the time, since it is included on Prime, and I'm glad it did because he opens up with pretty much the pivotal scene in the movie.
What? So you watched... What? You knew he was going to talk about it, and then you didn't
Yes.
watch the episode. You watched the film first, and then went back to the episode?
Yes.
Interesting.
Exactly. But he still spoiled Mr. Vengeance for me, sadly.
I wouldn't even know the spoiler now. See, that's
Oh,
great.
really?
No, I totally
How?
forgot.
Okay, well,
Did he talk
I
about
remember,
Mr.
sadly.
Vengeance too?
yes, very shortly.
Okay, see, that
Like
totally...
well, I don't think he even talks about it, but I think he talks about something, and then he shows examples of it in other movies, and one of those
Right,
was from
right.
Mr. Vengeance, and I was like, oh, thank you. You didn't need to show me that.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, it was like a classic episode, and I did enjoy it very much, and I think you would really enjoy the episode after that as well, which is
Is that Drew
by-
McQueenie?
exactly talking about starting off by talking about the protagonist from Lawrence of Arabia. Lawrence. I don't know what his last name was. What is Lawrence's last name?
No, it's Lawrence. No. Peter O'Toole.
Lawrence.
Yeah, Lawrence. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember his last name.
Anyway, yeah, and talking about how much he loved the movie, but talking about how unlikable the character is in a way. Not really playing a good guy, and then going over to anti-hero protagonist in, for example, Scorsese movies and so on. It's a really good episode.
Yeah, I really like the guy. I didn't know that he was going to be involved in this show, which is a show
else did
produced
he
by
do?
David Fincher. No, I just know him from like YouTube videos.
Right, yeah, he was like in the Schmodown and stuff like that, right?
Right.
Mm.
But he's like a writer too, and I think a director as well. So
Okay.
yeah. But Voir, the new Netflix mini series of like 5 or 6 short episodes, produced by David Fincher, David Pryor as well,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe one other person. I forgot the name, sadly. But yeah, that's really a show for cinephiles, wouldn't you say? I mean, that's
Yeah,
not really
it
like
even opens up for the love of cinema or something like that.
right.
But you said you watched the second episode because it is the Tony Zhao episode, right?
Yeah,
Episode 4 and 5 are Tony Zhao episodes as well. But not narrated by him, and it's not in the style of Every Frame of Painting, but it's also written, produced, and directed by him and Taylor Amos.
okay.
So you might find those interesting as well. I think episode 4 is about animation
Yeah,
and appeal, and number 5 is television versus cinema, which is a bit of a history of both and the allure of both, I suppose.
gotcha.
Which
Yeah,
is interesting.
I might
Yeah.
check those out. Yeah.
But yeah, it's an
What-
interesting show.
Yeah. What else do you have? Like, how many things do you have? 3, 4, 4.
4.
So
This
that
was
was
one of them.
This was one
Yes.
of them. Gotcha.
Do you have any honorable mentions that you want to get out of the way?
I have one honorable,
Mhm.
but if it's your turn to start, then let's get through your honorables first. No?
Sure. So I watched season 5, the final season of F is for Family, the Bill Burr show.
Right.
It's classic F is for Family. They did find a nice ending. If you don't know what F is for Family is about, I think I've talked about it before.
Yeah, I think it was
like a
pick
year
once.
ago
Yeah.
with season 4 about it's semi based on Bill Burr's childhood, And growing up in, I think it's the 70s, late 60s. I think it's the 70s. And in a bit of a dysfunctional family, he is the voice of the father. He wrote the show or created the show, and yeah, it's a good season. Finding a bit of a cool ending for it. And I also started listening to whatchamacallit, the Bill Burr podcast, where he then brought in a band member of the band, Fanny, which he used in the movie. And they also play themselves in a way, or there's a concert, and the real band plays themselves there
In the show,
in the show, yeah.
Yeah.
And interesting, I never heard of this band. Very small, all-women band. Also, one of the members dated Bowie for a time. He was a huge fan of the band, but it never really got any traction, and then split up, sadly. It's a cool band, I'm discovering new music. What's not to love about that?
Absolutely, yeah. But you've listened to the podcast before, no?
I have, but I haven't for quite a while.
Right,
I started again while I'm out for a walk with the dog. Just to have something to listen to.
Sure.
Except for the screeching of cars and the sound of urine. But
where do you live?
I also started listening to the Frendship Onion. Just a little side note, podcast by the two actors from The Lord of the Rings, Dominic, what's his name? And Monaghan and Billy Boyd.
Sorry, what was the name of the podcast?
The Frendship Onion.
Oh, I thought you said the French something.
No, the Frendship Onion.
Yeah, because you don't speak French, which you just established.
Not even a bit. Voulez-vous que je with moi ce soir?
No.
Oh.
Hey, you speak it fluently.
Yeah, it's very good, but they spoiled Lost for me. But I guess I was never going to watch it.
Oh, love that show.
Yeah, they talked about the ending very shortly because Monaghan was on Lost, right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's where I know him from.
Oh, really? More than Lord of the Rings?
Actually, I did see Lord of the Rings before that. It's actually
Get
true.
your shit together.
No, but Billy Boyd wasn't on Lost. Why are they talking about Lost? Just spoiling it for the sake of it?
I don't know what started the conversation, but like Billy Boyd, talking about project of theirs or whatever, and then Billy Boyd went like, what was like the reveal of the end, right? And then Billy Boyd, like, was it that thing? I was like, yeah, right. And then they talked about it, and I skipped ahead like 5 minutes, and we're still talking about it, but by that time it was already too late anyway. So,
are you planning on watching Lost? I mean, that's a time-consuming task.
I thought about it, but a lot of people said the ending wasn't great. And yeah, so many seasons of a show. I think there are other shows that I would watch first.
Sure,
but who knows? I was always in my head. It was always like, I don't know what the show is all about, except for people being on an island, and apparently there's like a smoke or fog monster or whatever, and that's all I knew about the show, pretty much.
Right.
So yeah,
it's like a theme that. But the podcast is mainly about Lord of the Rings. No, they're talking about Lord of the Rings?
About various stuff. That they've got a food segment where they eat different foods. Sometimes they get guests on, but usually about once an episode they do bring up either an anecdote or like a fan, and they do a little quiz and various stuff. And great episode, actually 2 episodes. They interview Elijah Wood. I know it's the best thing we've seen podcast, and I'm talking about a podcast, which is also in video. So,
there you go.
Kind of counts.
There you go.
Check that out.
Yeah, I recently watched Elijah Wood eating some burgers.
Right on.
First We Feast?
Yeah, haven't seen the episode. Is it good?
Yeah, it's good, yeah. He's such a likable guy. He's really
so good. I also came across a movie that he's in that I never heard of before. At least if I have already forgotten about it.
Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, have you heard about that?
I've heard about it because I know the guy from Lost.
Right. Billy Boyd.
Yeah, it's Billy Boyd. No, that joke is going nowhere. I'm sorry. What was the film?
It's directed by Liev Schreiber. Everything is an illusion. Everything is illuminated. I'm sorry, that's the movie.
Yes,
and it looks good.
That's the Chris Angel biopic.
All right. What a reference.
Yeah, I have that movie on my watch list too. It's supposed to be really, really good.
Yeah, $4 on Prime, so I might watch it the next couple of days because it does look interesting.
Yeah,
and I do love Elijah.
Yeah. I was going to say it's like a theme that all of these actors from great shows or films are now doing a podcast. There's like people doing podcasts on The Office. There's like one on Scrubs, obviously, with Zach Braff and
well, it's easy, isn't
Don
it?
Faison. It is, and everyone's loving it. I mean, but more and more people are sort of jumping on board with that.
I think it's just also so easy. If it's hard to do projects, I think, for a lot of people probably right now.
Absolutely.
Or it was at the beginning.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, it's so easy, especially over the internet, the way we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's very hard. It's very hard work what we're doing here.
I mean, those people have the people to edit it, so the hard part is already over. They just sit down and buy, I don't know, a microphone for $5,000, and
yeah, I was going to say $5. I think they got the top equipment. That
they do. Yeah,
Dude,
that's like the dream, but
yeah,
never gonna happen.
it's so expensive, man. The one mic that everyone uses is so expensive.
Yeah.
Right. So how do we get here? That was
F is for family.
Right.
Good finale, but I was kind of surprised by it because I didn't know it was going to end. And then at the very last moment of the show, I was like, okay, so this seems quite final. And it turns out it was.
Okay.
But yeah, it's hard to talk about the final season of a show without spoiling the rest. So since this is not my pick, I think we can move on.
Yeah.
To something that I thought was going to be my pick for this week.
Okay.
But it was knocked out of the park since you told me, the thing that we saw quite a while ago is now kind of coming out.
Right.
Let's include it. And
Yes.
I did love that so much that I have to put my original pick as my honorable, which is Summit of the Gods, a new Netflix film. Have you seen that?
I've not even heard of this. What is this?
Okay. Summit of the Gods is a French anime film. Sounds weird, right? It is based on a manga. It kind of looks like an anime, but it has some French style in it, I think at least. And it is about a story about a mountain climber or a journalist who is out and about and close to Mount Everest, accompanying a group. And there he meets a guy who claims to have found the camera of the first guy to attempt to climb Mount Everest, as far as we know, I think, or like the first big expedition in the 1920s, and then it was finally conquered in 1950.
Is this based on a real story?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's more like a thought experiment because the guy was never found and his camera was never found. So nobody knows if he actually made it up to the top and never returned or if he died on the way there. And so now that the camera has been found, if you could develop the photos, it might give you a clue as to what happened.
Sure.
But the guy who has the camera is an ex-mountain climber that has gone missing many years ago, and now the journalist is trying to track him down. And it's the story of him, the story of Mount Everest, the story of that mountain climber that went missing, and it's a very engaging film. It looks absolutely stunning, really well made, and it's a very interesting story. I watched this with a friend, and the quote that she said that stuck in my mind, I loved it, was, there are a lot of mountain climbing scenes, probably in Free Solo and stuff like that, which I still haven't seen, but I heard it's quite exhilarating to watch that guy climb.
One of the best docs, yeah.
And there are quite a few climbing scenes in this as well, of course. And during one of those scenes, a friend turned to me and said, like, this is more suspenseful than a thriller. And it really is at times. When you don't know if, the ice or the rock is going to hold that person, is he going to slip? Really well made. It really keeps you on the edge of your seat. And just, like I said, beautiful made. Yeah, the only weird thing is, it is, all the characters are Japanese, but the movie is French, so everybody speaks French, which kind of, threw me off at the beginning, but it works. It's very nice. It's just very serene at times and just so suspenseful when they do start climbing those mountains.
Yeah, and you speak the language fluently.
Apparently I do.
Yeah. Would you say that the film takes animation to the new heights?
Get out of here.
The poster quote. And I have seen the poster.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it. It says takes animation to new heights. I mean, the guy must have high-fived. Yeah.
I recently rewatched The Tale of Princess Kaguya. Now that's taking animation to the new heights. That's fucking beautiful. How that
you get
movie
the pun, right?
Yeah, I do get the pun,
Yes.
but I've seen better. No, to be frank, it does look amazing. I don't know if I would say new heights, but it is one of the most beautiful animation films that I've seen in the last year or so, like 2D animation, not 3D, because those are two different things, of course.
Yeah. Certain elements of that reminded me of The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. You see that film?
Yes,
Sean Penn trying to develop the last picture or whatever it was.
Of what was it in
I
Walter
don't
Mitty?
remember.
It's been years.
Yeah, it's been years too.
Isn't there like a movie so similar to that with Simon Pegg?
Hector in the Search for Happiness?
Yeah.
Well,
it's quite similar. Like not from the Sean Penn aspect, but of like a guy breaking out and traveling across the world.
Sure.
But yeah, I suppose.
Just because we talked about the French so many times already, there's a great scene in Hector in the Search for Happiness where a woman, what is it like? Have you seen that film? Yes.
Yes.
Where she goes like, happiness? And Hector in the Search for a penis? Anyway, that's the kind of humor today, right? I remember laughing a lot in cinemas.
Yeah, I'm sure I would as well if I heard it.
Because of the French pronunciation of happiness. Yeah. You get it.
Didn't take us long to go to a genital joke, right?
No. 20 minutes?
Yeah.
It's all right.
It's a pretty good time.
It's all right.
But yeah, I would definitely check it out if I were you.
Really?
I think you would still appreciate it. Maybe not as much from the story, but just from how it looks.
Yeah.
It is more open-ended than I think a lot of other movies would be. It's not, it's got a French vibe about it, I suppose.
Of course.
From the storytelling, take a guess why.
Yeah.
But I was quite surprised. I mean, it's not even a long movie, 90 minutes. I mean, typical animation runtime, I guess. But I didn't have this on my radar either. But then I saw it under new and upcoming, and it just looked so freaking good.
Yeah.
Even the mountains, when the movie starts, for a moment, you're not sure if it's like Mount Everest or just them drawing Mount Everest.
Right.
The drawing of it.
Yeah. Man. Animation is incredible these days, for sure.
Yeah.
Right. So that's on Netflix, right?
That is on Netflix. Yeah, I think released last week or so.
Right. So before we started recording this, we talked about certain things that are now available through Prime.
Yes.
And I saw something that has been available for a long, long time. I think for whatever reason, it was $5. And I think now it's back up to like 15 or whatever. It's very, very weird. But you guessed it. It is the new Soderbergh film. So props to you. Incredible work.
Thank you.
Incredible work.
I think they did it before we started recording, just for anybody confused as to when I guessed this.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, before we recorded, we talked about certain Prime things now. No sudden move. And I watched this, and I don't really, obviously no spoilers because I think you want to see this too, but I was really like underwhelmed by it. It's okay. It takes place in the 50s in Detroit, and it's sort of like a little mob story.
Okay.
That's great. Yeah. I mean,
sure.
Certain like groups sort of, all wanting the same thing, and what is the phrase? Falling in each other's backs doing it, or like stabbing each other in the back while doing it. But listen to the cast. I mean, so many incredible actors. Benicio del Toro, Don Cheadle, Brendan Fraser is back.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Ray Liotta, Noah Jupe, the guy, the kid from Ford vs. Ferrari. Who else is in this? David Harbour, the guy from Stranger Things. What's his name in Stranger Things? The cop.
Yeah, forgot it.
Oh God. I started watching after season 1, but that's what's his name? Hobbs? Something with an H. Something with an H.
That's pretty good. Yeah, Officer Hobbs.
Is that what it's called? Is that what it's called?
I've seen all seasons, and I
Hopper.
still don't know. Okay,
Hopper. Who else? Julia Fox, who was in Uncut Gems. She was like the girlfriend of Adam Sandler.
No idea, but sure.
I was so surprised to see her in something. I haven't seen her in anything other than Uncut Gems. But anyway, the cast goes on. And I don't even the story. It's such a convoluted story about like people trying to get plans for a something to do with cars, where it's like something that filters out emissions, right? Some sort of exhaust engine or whatever, and they're trying to get those plans because they're very, very valuable, and it's such first of all, the tone of the film. I was reading things beforehand that said like it's kind of like Steven Soderbergh's Nice Guys, which I get the reference, but it's not anywhere as good, even though I'm not the biggest Nice Guys fan. But
is it similar in the type of humor, or it doesn't even sound that funny, to be honest?
No, it's very clumsy. Like a lot of people are hired, like Don Cheadle is hired together with Benicio del Toro and Kieran Culkin to like watch over a family while the heist takes place, or while they're trying to steal something. And the way in which they interact between them and with the family in danger is very, very cynical and very, very like like it's no big deal, and it's kind of funny because of that. It's got humoristic elements because of that, but there's no like laugh out loud moments.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't even know, man. The tone of it is weird. The look of it, like Soderbergh used certain lenses, and I've read something that he actually like the left and the right side of the frame are very like distorted. So and like it looks very, very weird, and for me very off-putting. Like he actually had to. Originally it looked even worse, and he had to like make it look a bit better. He wanted to do it because he wanted the film to look like a film from the 50s. But he had to like he had to make changes because it was too weird, and it's still weird the way it is now.
Is that in the trailer? Because I
don't know
to see how that looks.
I don't remember. I haven't seen the trailer in a while. But there is one great little, I don't want to say cameo, but an actor is in the film who's I don't think credited. And when that actor showed up, I was literally like going from like almost falling asleep to like, all right, this is great. You know what I mean? I was paying more attention then because I'm a big fan. But it still didn't really save the story to me. It's got so many twists and turns and people backstabbing and people, it's not even a spoiler when I tell you, like, this guy thinks he has it now, and one guy points a gun at him who used to be his partner, right? So then he takes his money. Then he's the winner. Then 2 seconds later, the next guy stabs the other guy in the back. Not literally, but like, you got to give me the money now. You got to give me the documents now. And it's like so confusing. And then at the end, who eventually ends up with it, it's just like, yes, okay, are we done? Or is there going to be just another twist at the end? You know what I mean? It's very, very weird. I don't quite know why people love this film. It's okay. It's got some fun elements to it. But with the cast it's got, and with the setting, I was hoping for more.
Okay. But you're a fan of Soderbergh's in general, right?
I am. But I mean, I used to be more than I am now. I love the Ocean's trilogy. Contagion, a film that everyone started watching a year and a half ago, or almost 2 years ago. And they actually did this film obviously during the pandemic, and Soderbergh, I read something as well that he had a lot of contact, obviously, because he used to work with people from the CDC before when they did Contagion, and now they actually were living it, and it was quite fascinating because he's very, very involved in all of that. And even when they made the film, he was like talking up Pfizer and their vaccine that's going to happen eventually. And, the guy who's, he's done his research years and years before shit hit the fan.
Right.
But in terms of Soderbergh, like recently, I don't know if they're like, what was his best recent film? Logan Lucky was okay.
Yeah. I don't know about recent. I don't know what I've seen of his. I mean, Traffic is good, but that's older.
Well, Aaron Brockovich. The older ones I love.
Yeah.
The older ones I love.
I mean, I love Che 1 and 2, part 1 and 2. But that's also like 2010, 2008. I have no idea, to be honest, right now.
Yeah, he did The Laundromat, the Meryl Streep one.
I wasn't a fan of that, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was okay. Unsane, Logan Lucky, and then like side effects, Behind the Candelabra.
What's Behind the Candelabra again?
That's the film about what's Liberace. Michael Douglas playing Liberace.
Right, yes. Isn't Michael Douglas and Matt Damon, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That was, I think, an HBO film. It was. That never reached cinemas here, but yeah. I haven't seen it. It's supposed to be really good.
Yeah.
And obviously did Magic Mike, the first one. Who could forget?
That seems so weird to me. Like such a weird mixture of movies, to be honest. I mean, you had Oceans, which is, fun, heist comedy.
Yeah.
Then you go over to Traffic, really fucking dark movie at times.
Yeah.
About drugs. And you do, I don't know, stuff like Laundromat and fucking Magic Mike. And then you do Contagion. He's done a lot. Not everything worked for me, but sure.
Yeah, I think he's an interesting director. And he did take some time off, and I thought he was sort of like done. There were like rumors he's not going to direct any other films, but he's been like very productive these last few years, actually. So yeah, I'm actually always sort of interested in what he's going to do next. I don't necessarily watch everything, but I'm definitely interested in his work.
Yeah,
and you love Benicio del Toro, right? So
I do love Benicio very much. It's also a reason why I thought about checking this movie out, but the ratings were quite mediocre, and you mentioned, it was quite expensive to rent on Amazon for quite a time.
Yeah, it's so weird. It definitely was $5 not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, before we get to our pick, which is our pick of the week, I can say that. I thought about doing this, and I'm just like, fuck it. I want to try this, but I'm gonna put you on the spot. So if we go, like, realistically, the best thing I've seen this week. Is what I'm about to show you. I'm going to send you a link, and I want you to watch it. It's a 20-second video, and I think it originated on TikTok, right? I hate even saying that word. It makes me sound so, you know what I mean, right? I have nothing. I don't
underaged.
Well, yes, I don't even use the platform, right? It's like I have to use it for work, but anyway, right? I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's like
you're gonna send it to me on my phone or per
I'm going to
email?
send you, it's also on YouTube, so you don't have to create a TikTok account or whatever. So I watched this video. I don't know, it's one of the most viewed videos in such a long time. And I thought about telling you about this on air because it might not work. First of all, you might not laugh because I'm going to tell you it's funny, and putting you on the spot, it's not going to be funny. But I can't really talk about this without it's a 20-second video, and giving away this sort of the thing. So I'm gonna post the link in the description, and I'm gonna send it to you now, and I want to get your reaction on air. It's, for me, when I saw this, I rewatched it a couple of times, and I had to really, really genuinely laugh out loud a couple of times. It's basically a father talking to his daughter. He's coming into her room and telling the daughter about sort of a discussion he had with her mother. And the guy, I love the father so much. I mean, he's obviously playing for the camera now because he knows that he's recorded, and they've made a couple of videos like this, but it's so genuine and so great. I'm going to send you this now, okay?
It's so hard. Every time somebody, shows you a video,
I know.
You're so forced to find it amusing that you don't find it amusing, even though it would be funny if you saw it alone. So I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my fake laugh, even if I don't find it funny.
Because, I got power over editing this week, so even if you don't react, I'm just going to put in some sound effects.
Yeah, some canned laughter.
Yes.
America's greatest export.
Yes. So if this doesn't work, it might not even be in the episode, but I'm going to send you this now, and I'm definitely linking it in the description no matter what. To me, this made me laugh a lot. Let's see if it works for you. I want to show it to you because I actually think you would enjoy this as well.
Now the question is, wait, I'm going to watch it on my computer. I'm going to send it to myself.
Right.
Since otherwise you wouldn't hear my reaction because you would also hear the audio, and that might be troubling.
Right. I'll cut this together beautifully. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I don't want to include the clip because you got to see it too.
Yeah, okay.
It's a 37-second clip, right? I set it up. While you're loading this up, it's the father coming into his daughter's room and telling him about the discussion he had with his wife. Tell me when you're starting it.
Give me a second. There we go.
You got it? Tell me when you hit play.
And play.
That was it, right? I watched it with you. So I think we're on the same level. I just love it when he goes at the end, like, explain that to me. I think it was genuine laughter, right? You didn't put it on. Maybe just a little bit.
It was funnier than I thought when he started talking, because I don't know what it was about his voice, just the accent mixed with him looking kind of high.
Right.
And amused about the whole thing.
Right. And he also looks like like he's given up already. Just like,
yeah, right.
I love it. I wanted to try and put this in somehow because it made me laugh a lot. Let's see. If it makes anyone out there laugh, then my job is done. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Let's talk about our pick of the week.
Yeah, it's my turn to start. I mean, if it's the same thing.
Well, it is the same thing.
Who cares?
You can start. You can start.
Okay. I mean, when did we watch this? August?
End of September.
Okay. So the thing that we watched in a sneak preview, a movie that is maybe not even coming out in Austria, since you mentioned it might have come out during the lockdown, but now that
I'm not quite sure. I tried to look this up. Maybe it played in certain cinemas like towards the back end of November, or like I don't know when it closed exactly, but just before it closed, basically. So not for a long time.
I mean, sorry, I'm very very short topic. Change of topic. Drive My Car, which I talked about, I think is now playing at the film casino as soon as the lockdown opens up again.
Oh yeah, it's getting some award buzz too.
Yeah, good movie.
Yeah.
So what we watched a couple of months ago was Nowhere Special, a movie that stuck with me quite a bit after I saw it, and I actually recommended it to a couple of people, which is too bad since I don't know when they will be able to watch it.
Well, it's on Blu-ray, right? We looked this up.
Yeah, for $20. So you know,
but it's our. I mean, that's all we could say. It's now.
I mean,
also
we
live on
Blu-ray. Quite close to each other. We could buy it together and just everybody gets it for like a week.
Well, we've seen it though, right?
That's how we could show it to our friends, because otherwise they'll never see it.
That's probably true.
But yeah, Nowhere Special. It's a Northern Irish film, if I'm not mistaken, or at least it's set in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
And it is a very depressing story about a father who is dying, a single father raising his son, and knowing that he is terminally ill, and he's doing whatever he can to prepare to prepare himself and his son for that situation, not by telling him, but by preparing to find another family to adopt him once he's gone, to preemptively see that he goes to a good home.
Yes.
Before he passes away, which is, a very bleak setup for a movie. And it is so incredibly well acted, which makes it even more depressing, since both the father and the kid lay down some of the best performances, I think, of this year, in my opinion.
100%. Especially the dad.
Especially the dad. He's so freaking good. I love that actor. I've never seen him before, I think, but I really liked his performance there.
James Norton is his name, and you have seen him before. He was in Little Women.
Right, he's the husband of Emma Watson. We've talked about this before.
Yes.
I think he's the priest. I'm sure I'm mistaken about that right now. I'm making a mistake. But
yeah, but you set the film up beautifully, if you don't mind. Should we play a clip now?
Yes.
Let's roll a little clip of it. It's written and directed by Uberto Pasolini.
Italian?
I hope so. Otherwise, I look like a fool.
Spanish? I don't fucking know.
It sounds very Italian.
Apparently a great director, as we saw.
He is Italian. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Nowhere Special.
Come dawn, his father cried. You'll be much safer by my side. They'd never seen a boy so brave. He gave his dad a little wave. Bitch.
Sean, we realise you want the best for your son.
He deserves a normal family. All the opportunities I never had as a child.
And what does he know of your situation?
One day, Michael, would you like to live in a different town, different home?
I like home.
I don't want him to understand death. Not yet. I thought I would know when I first saw them. No, yes, not these, that's them.
Wouldn't you like a mummy, Michael?
There's a limit to the number of families we can consider before taking a decision.
This is the biggest decision of my life.
This is our responsibility.
I always thought that I knew him. But do I know him? Enough for this?
Right. I'm sorry. Hit my desk. Yeah, so this was nowhere special. A movie, like it's just said, about the dad trying to find a adoptive family for his son. The big part of this movie is both the domestic life of him and his son at home, him getting more and more tired, being less and less able to take care of his son, the people around him, his work, because he doesn't have a lot of money. He's a window cleaner.
Yep.
And also then every couple of days or weeks meeting a new family, prospective family, seeing how they, how they live and
right.
how they get along with his kid. And the kid is, of course, oblivious to this because his dad doesn't want to tell him that he's going to die, since I think the kid is like 5 or something. Very young.
Yeah, 3 actually, it says on IMDb.
3, okay,
yeah.
wow. But kid is so adorable that, the chemistry the two of them have is, it doesn't feel like a movie but a documentary, the most
for sure
breathtaking documentary that you've ever seen in a way.
No, that's a statement right there. Put that on the poster.
No. Well, like breathtaking documentary because it feels so like such a cinematic experience as well, because that is what it is.
Right. It feels like you're intruding, right? That's kind of how I felt.
Yeah.
Because you, in a weird but good way, because you spend so much time as well getting to meet the families. Like those are like the main parts of the film.
Yeah.
Like he also talks to, I believe is it his mother or his grandmother? A lot.
Yeah, the grandmother, yeah.
Yeah. But majority of the film is taking place. Sorry? Is it not his grandmother? I forgot about that.
Well, fuck me, I don't know. It's been a long time.
Yeah. But anyway,
I think it might have been his aunt.
It might have been his aunt. Yeah, sure. You might be right. But those scenes where he meets all those families, that's kind of so well done, because to me, and I've said this before multiple times, but to me, the best thing a film can be, and especially dealing with such a subject, is it felt real.
Real.
Yeah, right? And this film as a whole came out of nowhere to me. I had no idea about the film. It's one of those sneak films. I would have probably never seen this film otherwise.
Yeah.
And it's a gem. It's a gem. Not a lot of people have seen this, but I agree with you completely. For me, this might be, I'd have to think about this, but I think it's the best, certainly, male performance I've seen this year.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like if I go like best actor at the Academy Awards, it's not going to happen, but we deserved.
I mean, definitely the most realistic portrayal. I mean, DiCaprio lays them some great performances in, for example, Django, or even, I don't know, Aviator, but this just seemed way more down to earth.
Which is down to the role, yes.
Yes, but also just from the portrayal, it was just so simple. The character didn't do much, but just the way that he showed his emotions of trying to protect the son was so bittersweet.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, there's not a lot more to the story than what we just said. It's incredibly well performed, incredibly heartbreaking, incredibly touching, and beautiful as well, kind of, in a sad way, beautiful. Obviously also like the bureaucratic element of the whole thing. There's like, I believe, 2 women who are growing closer to him and his situation, obviously wanting the best for him and his child as well. Especially one, I believe one was very attached to them, not in like a romantic way or whatever. Just like being really, really involved and trying to make the best out of such a dire situation.
Right.
Which is incredible. Yeah. Nowhere Special. What I really wanted to, even though unfortunately now it's kind of weird to say it's now out. It is out, but not really in cinemas now. And I don't believe it's streaming currently. Certainly not in Germany or Austria. But yeah, it's on Blu-ray.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is that gem that you mentioned. Not a lot of people have seen, but I think once you have seen it, it's the one thing that you would recommend to your friends if they want to show you something that is different from, typical blockbuster movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Right.
Short
that's
but
it,
sweet.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, let's do a one round.
Oh, you want to do a round? I mean, after both of our horrible performances last week.
No.
Sorry, the week before that.
The De Niro one was okay. It was.
I mean,
there was so much to choose from.
Sure, fair enough.
If you don't want to, it's fine.
No, that's fine. You're editing this.
That's why I suggested it.
Sure. Do you have anybody you're thinking of currently?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Give me a second. Oh,
who we have done Hanks. I was about to suggest Hanks again. Who's a
Morgan Freeman?
Morgan Freeman.
He's been in a lot.
I mean, I can just say okay now. I don't think I know much, but we can try. Let's do it. Let's just do it.
I'm sure it's going to be
Let's just do
horrendous. Okay. You want to start us off?
I'll start us off with 7.
Course. Bruce Almighty.
Sure.
God,
Yeah. I'll go with the Shawshank Redemption.
I'm going to go with Lucky Number 11.
That's got Morgan Freeman in it?
Mm-hmm. Doesn't it? No, it doesn't.
Bruce Willis? It's...
I said this so confidently, but I don't know why I just said it like that.
It might be. You might be right. It's been so long.
Right?
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Okay.
You're absolutely right. Isn't he also in Evan Almighty?
I have never seen Evan Almighty.
I'm going to log in Evan Almighty.
Well, franchise rules. No,
I know.
Are those two connected except for,
Morgan
Freeman?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's got Steve Carell in both of them.
Okay, sure. In both of them?
Yeah.
Who is he in Bruce Almighty?
What are you talking about? Come on, man. Come on. He's Evan Baxter. I love that I know this. I fucking love that I know this. I have seen few films more than Bruce Almighty.
Really?
Yeah, it's Evan Baxter. Yeah, the news anchor, his rival.
Dude, I think it's been like 15 years since I saw Bruce Almighty in German when I don't know how old.
Yeah.
But sure.
He's his rival at the news station. He's sort of the anchor. And
that's a movie I gotta rewatch. Like Truman Show as well. Haven't seen it for decades.
Yeah.
A decade. I haven't had that many decades.
I know.
Let me see.
Yeah, I need to think.
Whose turn is it? You said
I said Evan Almighty.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Driving Miss Daisy.
Good. I have a weird film in my head right now that I kind of don't want to say right now. I'll go with, and I, if it's okay with you, let's do franchise rule here. I'll go with The Dark Knight.
Of course. I'm gonna go with another movie that I'm just gonna test this. The March of the Penguins. Does it count or not?
Sure. I mean, it's associated with him instantly, so I reckon it counts. I believe this is going to be the most embarrassing round yet. I don't know why I agreed to this. Because he must have been in like 200 films.
He's been in a lot, but I don't think I have more than 1 or 2 more.
No, we got this. We got this.
Sentence?
Let me think. What else do we have? I think of... I hope that he's in it. Is he in that film? Is he in that film? Fuck, dude. I'm mixing up so many... actors right now. Is he in... Fuck, I don't want to lock that in just yet. Okay. Morgan Freeman. Big Morgan Freeman movies. What's a big Morgan Freeman movie? Why am I thinking of Transcendence?
Ooh, the Johnny Depp movie.
I'll log it in. It's probably not right, but I think he's in that. Is he in that? Do you know if he's in that?
I haven't seen it. So
He's in this. Yes.
nice. I'm gonna go with Red.
Good one. Okay. I'll just throw out the ones that I had in my head. I think he's in a film called Last Vegas.
Mm.
Please be in that film. He's not going to be in that film. He is in that film.
Yeah. Who else is in that movie?
De Niro, Douglas, Kevin Kline, Mary Steenburgen.
Dude, is he also in the bucket list?
Dude, that's the other one. I shit you not. That's the other film I thought about.
Yeah.
How are you thinking of the same
list,
one?
right? Because, all people doing last people things.
Absolutely right. Yeah, that's literally the next thing. And it's absolutely right. He's in that film.
It's a beautiful description of the movie.
No, you got it. What else has he been? Shit. Come on, Morgan. Morgan, talk to me, Morgan.
Speak to those freckles.
Yeah. Isn't he? He is, I believe he is also in Lucy. Yes, he is.
Who is he in Lucy?
Professor Norman.
Ah, okay. Sure. Terrible movie. I hate that movie so much. There's just something about Luc Besson movies. There's like one or two good ones, like A Fifth Element and The Professional.
Yeah.
And the rest are just utter garbage. I'm sorry, but
I hate Lucy too.
he's just so over the top, like so overly cool that it's just cringy.
Sure.
Okay, sorry, it's my turn. Sure, there's like a couple of sci-fi things with that dude, but can't think of a single one. He's in so many things that I want to say one or two, but I'm sure he's not even in that.
Same. I just thought of one that I think he's in.
I just know of one. No, I'm like 90% sure he's in that, but I can't think of the title. I just know what letter it starts with, but it's on the tip of my tongue. But fuck, I don't know.
I'm so scared. I don't know if he's in that film I'm thinking of.
Fuck, is he in Amistad?
I don't know. I do not know. Look it up.
I think
You're logging
he's
that
a
in?
lawyer in Amistad.
You're absolutely right. I don't know if he's a lawyer, but he's in it. I'm going to go, and this might be really embarrassing, but isn't he in Interstellar?
You tell me. I mean, Nolan, sure.
Yeah, no, that looks
After
bad.
having worked on...
No. It looks bad, right? No. One down.
Okay, well, didn't think I would make it that far, to be honest, even. I don't want to say my guess because I'm sure it's wrong and then you'll say the right thing.
Please.
No.
I know. I just thought of one, which I'm happy about.
Okay. Oh, Unforgiven.
Oh, of course. I'll go with Now You See Me.
Okay,
It's definitely in that. In both of
Don't
them.
remember it. But sure. Don't remember those movies too much either, to be honest. They were entertaining when I saw them, at least the first one was.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
love them.
Dan Radcliffe was fun in the second one. I'll say that. I'm just so bad at this. I'm sure I'm missing so many classics. I mean, the dude's got a huge filmography.
100%.
And, I mean, he's been working since like the 60s, right?
Sure.
Driving This Miss Daisy was like late 60s, early 70s. I'm going to say, but I'm sure I'm wrong as fuck. Once again,
It was 89.
Jesus, the movie feels so old. Really?
Yep.
I mean, I guess it's just the setting that threw me off.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, he's older and Driving Miss Daisy, of
Look at
course.
him.
He's not that
you
young.
You hear him stalling, right? He's got nothing.
I've got nothing. I don't even... Like, stalling it, that doesn't even work. Because I'm not good at, multitasking.
Right.
I can't talk about a movie and think of another. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's a lie from me as well because no.
Has he been in a Fincher film? Another one that I'm not thinking of right now? I don't think he has been.
I can't think of one either. I mean, that doesn't have to mean anything, but
This is so.
fuck.
You got one? Okay.
No, I don't have one. I thought of one that I thought of earlier, which I am not sure he's in, but if I can't think of one in the next round, I'm just going to throw it out.
Right.
And hope for the best. I
Um,
mean, it is the last round. Do you want a timer?
absolutely not.
No, go. I'm going to give you time.
What could we
Take all the
have?
time you need.
Morgan Freeman. I'll go with a film called Brubaker. I believe he's in that with Robert Redford.
Brew Baker.
Yes, Brubaker, from the same director who did Cool Hand Luke. I believe he's in that. Come on.
Ooh, okay. Fuck me, dude. I can't think of any like young Morgan Freeman movies. He's always been old to me.
Yeah.
I mean, Driving Miss Daisy. It's like the oldest movie I know with him. And he's still like, 40. Fuck me.
I want to look it up so bad, but I don't want to give up yet.
Yeah, I know. Me too. Okay, I don't think I will think of anything else now, so I'm just gonna throw it off. Pelican Brief.
That's Denzel.
Okay. He could have been someone else there. I don't know.
Maybe he is. I'll look it up. I don't see him though. Let's think together because no one deserves to win this. Has he done like a Nolan film? He's in Inception? No, he's not in Inception, right?
No, I don't think so. I mean, Spielberg, anything else? If you did Amistad?
Gotta be.
I mean, he's so many bad new ones. The one thing that I've been thinking of that I couldn't think of the name was the new Zach Braff movie with Alan Arkin as well.
What was that film called again?
Something with
Going
A.
in Style.
Nothing with A at all. Going in Style, yeah.
Okay. I have looked. I'm at the hub of his IMDb page, which gives me his the four most known for. 7, Invictus, and
haven't
of course,
seen it, but sure.
$1 Million Baby.
That's embarrassing.
That is embarrassing.
But he's been in 140 things. I mean, including shows and whatever. Kaminsky Method, okay. Haven't seen that episode, but we always do movies.
Yeah. Olympus Has Fallen.
Coming to America too. Is he in the first one? Sorry, as well.
I don't know. I'm not seeing too many omissions just yet.
I mean, he's been in so much garbage. No offense to the dude, but
Oblivion he's been in. Wanted. Fuck, I love Wanted. Shit.
Really?
I love Wanted.
Yeah. Not a huge fan.
Gone Baby Gone. Sure.
He has to play God somewhere else, right?
No.
Isn't it like the joke that he's always God?
Is it?
How's Invictus? I want to watch it for the Matt Damon special, but didn't get to.
Watch it for Matt Damon's accent.
All right. South African, yeah.
It's amazing, yeah. The film was okay.
Gone Baby Gone.
Gone Baby Gone, yeah.
I remember him
Great
there,
film.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Dude, I'm not seeing too many omissions just yet. We're getting to and Along Came a Spider was the one. I knew there was a film with Spider in the title. I didn't know. I couldn't put it together. Deep Impact. 7 Outbreak, Shawshank, Unforgiven, you said. Dude, this is not as bad as we thought it is.
It's quite alright, yeah. I mean, he's done so many bad movies. No offense to Mr. Freeman, but
Dude,
Morgan, you got to do better.
I'm still
Glory.
scrolling. I'm in the 80s now. Yeah.
I meant to watch Glory.
Too bad at all.
It's quite alright, yeah. He's just a tough dude to do a list on.
Dude, I think we've done okay here.
Yeah. I wish I could have thought of $1 Million Baby.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
This could have ended differently, but I'm going to take that L.
No. Did he win for that? He did. That's his Oscar-winning role too. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Right.
Street Smart. He's also nominated for that. What is Street Smart? I'm so sorry.
Old
Jerry Schutzberg. Good name. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah. Righty. That's it. That's our episode for this week. We hope you enjoyed. Cinemas are back open. Next week is going to be hopefully with another great MCU film as well. Take care. And that's it for me.
Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in. Check us out on any podcast platforms if you're interested. We're available anywhere where you get your podcasts from. Check us out at Best Thing Radio on Twitter and Instagram. You can check out the thumbnail that Flo's going to do for us there, and also on YouTube. Consider dropping a like, a subscribe. Really helps out. Yeah. I hope you've seen something good, watched something good. Have a great week, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.